Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome to Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, June 3rd. So we've already fast forwarded a little bit to another month. We started a new month on Monday in our Zoom class. Do you remember? Yes. Okay. So today's a brand new Wednesday, which means it's a YouTube video class day. All right. And the first thing that we're going to do today is going to be English. Right. So we saw a class on Monday, like we do every Monday, right? Where we studied a little bit of spelling. Do you remember that? Well, in case you don't remember, I'm here to let you practice that, okay? So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to get your notes from the Monday Zoom class, or if you lost them, if you don't know where they are, just find a piece of paper and we can go over this, okay? So, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to check the thing that we've been studying for the past 2 days, okay? Because we studied in spelling how verbs change when you put them in the past or when you talk about them in the present, okay? Okay. So, last week we talked about how some verbs, when you talk about them in the present, you add an S, like studies and goes and jumps and walks. Okay, you add an S. And when you talk about them in the past, you go yesterday, it's like she walked, talked, and things like that. Now, those are regular verbs. Okay, they are verbs that follow all the rules. Okay. Now, what we're going to see today and what we have been seeing for the past 2 days is more related to some different verbs. Verbs that somehow change in spelling when we apply these rules, okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you the worksheet that I showed you on Monday, okay? In case you didn't finish that, you have time to finish it now. This is when you practice those spelling words to make sure that you're spelling them correctly. Because remember, we have a quiz activity on Friday in our Zoom class. Okay, so this is the time that you have to study. So, I'm going to go ahead and share with you my screen. Here we go. All right, so we were talking about verb endings, okay? The way that we change verbs at the end. We talked about how we sometimes add an S, sometimes add ed, and sometimes add ing. Now, we saw part of this last week, which is why this is sheet number 2, okay? Now, what happens when you add s, ed, and ing to the end of a verb, like drop? Now, drop is a very short verb. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a very short sound where we have our vowel. Okay, remember that the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. All right? So, this is a rule over here. For verbs with a short vowel before the final letter, you have to double that final letter before adding ed and ing. So what does that mean? Well, I take the verb drop, which has a very short vowel, and this is my final letter. Final letter in this case is a P. Now I take drops. Now in drops, when I add the S, this rule doesn't apply because the rule says when I add ed or ing. So when I turn it into dropped, I have to double the amount of P's that I have, okay? 2 P's. The same situation goes with dropping, okay? With dropping, I have pping. All right? That's the first rule. When I have very short vowels and I have to double the final letter when I transform it to ed or ing ending, okay? Now let's take a look at the second rule. This is another rule that we have today that we're going to learn in case you forgot from Monday, okay? So For verbs that are ending in E, you have to drop the final E, so you have to sort of eliminate it before adding ed and ing. So let's take, for example, the word bake. Now, the word bake ends in an E. You can see it right here. Okay? Now, with the S, the rule doesn't apply. I don't have to drop anything. Okay? I just add an S at the end. That's what it says, bakes. Now, in the case of baked, I don't write this. This is not how I write baked. If I didn't follow this rule, it would change my word to baked, which is not correct. It's absolutely wrong. So I'm going to cross it out. This doesn't exist. That's crazy. So I just drop that final E and put ed at the end. The same situation for baking. Notice that the word baking, you spell it B-A-K-I-N-G. There is no E anywhere here. I had to drop it to spell baking, okay? She bakes a cake. Yesterday I baked some bread, and right now I'm baking some cookies. Bake is when you cook things in the oven, okay? Now this is the list that we started to study on Monday, okay? Now I know some of you didn't finish, so let's go ahead and let's finish this right now. We're going to take the word change. It's already done for us in the example, okay? So change, when I add an S, remember change, for example, follows the rule that it ends in an E, okay? So changes, I just add the S at the end. Now changed, there are no two E's here. So I dropped one and I substituted for ed. And in changing, I don't have any E's, okay? Now let's take the word drag. Drag, like when you drag and drop in your computer or you drag the trash outside. Let's go and spell it D-R-A-G-S. Drags. I'm going to make this D a little bit longer. There you go. Now, in the case of of dragged, I know that it has a short vowel and I have to double the final letter. So dragged is with double G. Dragged. Remember, it's not dragged, it's dragged. Okay? And here, what do I put? What does the rule say? I have to double it also when I go to the ing mode. So it's D-R-A-G-G-I-N-G. Good. All right. Let's do save. So saves, I add that S at the end. Save ends in an E. Okay? So when I go to this side, saved, there are no two D's, not two E's, just saved. And whoops, I need to erase this because I made a mistake. Okay. In saving, do I have an E in saving? No, because I had to drop it. Okay, good. Now love. She loves her student. That's what you could say about me. I love my students, which is you guys. Okay, so then loved. Good. And I am a very loving person. Notice that loving doesn't have an E. Okay, good. So we're seeing how it switches, how my word is evolving, changing, okay? Now hug. Hug is a very short vowel, okay? What is that? The rule tells me that I have to double the final letter, which is the G. Okay, but in the S, I just add the S. Hugs. She hugs her son, sorry. And we turn this into past. Hugged with double G, right? Because I have to double it. Hugged. Very good. And hugging also follows the same rule, but I have to double the last letter, which is usually a consonant, and add ing. Now we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 more words to go for. I have stops. So now I know that if they give me stop and I say add the S, you have to write it stops. But what happens to stop when I add ed? Well, it's the same situation as hug and drag. I have to double the last letter, which is a P. So we go stopped. She stopped writing with double P. Stopped. There we go. Looks a little weird, but now it's better. And she is stopping to put gas in her car, for example. There we go. Stopping. Now stopping is with double P. Stopped is with double P, but stops doesn't follow the double letter rule, okay? Now drop. Same situation. Short vowel, I have to double the final letter, which is P, but in the in the S, drops doesn't follow that rule, but dropped. Oops, that came out a little weird. Dropped. And dropping also has this situation, double P. She's dropping her paper on the floor. Okay. Grab, same situation. My final letter is a B, so I have to add an S here. She grabs the notebook. He grabbed his pencil with double B. Grabbed. And then the last one, she's grabbing my shirt. Grabbing with double B. Oops, there we go. Much better. Grabbing. And the last one, stir. Stir is when you imagine a liquid in a bowl and you take a spoon, all right? So imagine if you're drinking lemonade and you want to mix the sugar, you have to take a spoon and stir, revolver, mezclar, grab, stir. You mix in your lemonade or your chocolate milk or something. Okay, so stir with an S is just stirs. She stirs. In my case, what do I drink in class? Coffee or tea. So I have to stir my tea before I drink it. And stirred. Now, in the case of stirred, same situation follows. What's my last letter there? An R. So I have to double the R and add ed. And in the case of the ing, I have to double the R and add ing. So stirring. Stirring. Okay, now this is the first part of the worksheet. And we did this in class. Okay, I hope that you have understood all the rules here. Here, this poor man dropped his pancakes, I believe. Okay. Now, let's try to do this activity where you can actually recreate these drawings yourselves Okay, and let's see. I can also help you. It says write a verb to describe each picture. They all end with ing. The first one has been done to help you. So this person here is swimming. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Now this one over here looks like, oh, it's looked like she's in water because she's wearing snorkels and she's got these things. So she's diving. Diving. So when you dive, it ends in E, but I have to drop that E to turn it into ing. Now this person over here who's wearing a chef's hat is mixing something in a bowl. What word was that? Stirring, for example. They give you the first letter, so you don't really have much choice as to where to go. Now this woman, like right here, she kind of looks like me. She's smiling, she's got dark hair, she's holding a pencil and a board like the one that I have, and she is writing. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that here. Writing. Now there is no double T in writing. Do you know why? Because it's a long vowel. Right. And it ends in E. Right. I'm going to write the verb here. I'm going to write the verb right. Right has the rule of that it ends in an E. Okay? So what do I do when I transform it into ing? I drop that E. Okay? There is no double T in writing. Okay? All right. Now, these two, it looks like a mom and a little girl, or maybe even a grandma. These girls are doing something that we all love to do with our moms and dads and uncles and brothers and sisters, with our family. We love to hug, so they are hugging with a double G, right? Okay, good job. Now, this woman is holding something that looks really hot, like a pie, and she's wearing these mittens to cover her hands. They're oven mittens, actually. So she's baking. Baking. All right, baking. We already studied that in our list. Whoops, let's make it bigger. And this girl is doing something on this horse. Now you call it horseback. Horseback riding. Okay. Riding. Now the original verb is you ride a horse. Okay? When you ride, it ends in E, so you have to drop the E to transform it into ing, and you don't double anything. Okay? Now this man looks like he's moving his arms and legs to go to a direction really, really fast. So he's running. Now run is a very short vowel. I have to double the N and add ing. Okay. And this last one, this little boy seems to be behind a box. He doesn't want to be found. He might be playing a game called hide and seek. So he's hiding. Now the verb hide ends in E. So what do I do to transform it into ing? I eliminate that E. Oops, sorry, I wrote an extra H. We don't need that. Hiding. He is hiding. Good? Okay. Now for this, I'm going to leave you to do it by yourselves, and you can show me on Friday. So this is for Friday. This short activity, I'm going to leave it on the screen, and you can pause this video as much as you like so that you can do this activity, okay? All right. So you can pause this video do this activity and show it to me on Friday. Okay, you guys, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you later on for another video. See you soon.